Hey guys, welcome back to another top 10 right here on the Completionist and That One Video Gamer. Before we start today's episode, quick announcement, obviously no new Completionist. I'm still on the green screen, construction is still happening. Also, ThatOneVideoGamer.com, our community hub for all the stuff That One Video Gamer related, is opening up every single month, the first week of the month, for submissions for you guys out there to get your stuff featured. If you make videos or podcasts or things like that, you make fan art or any kind of inciting articles, this is the time to submit them. So if you want to go ahead and submit that stuff, links in the description below. Submit them before the end of next week, because this is only open for the first week of every month. So get them to us. Send us your stuff. So today's top 10 is kind of weird because it focuses on good guys being bad or bad guys being good. It's a weird synergy kind of thing. So just to give you a heads up as well, I'm going to be spoiling a lot of character arcs from different games. So if you haven't played the games I'm going to list, you've been warned right now. There you go. Enjoy.
One of my favorite things about life is that nothing is ever black and white. While you have a lot of things that are right and wrong, life is kind of about living in the gray. And personally, I find that those types of protagonists and antagonists are the most interesting. A common question that arises multiple times in a game for a protagonist is, what makes a hero or heroine? Is it strength? Agility? 9 out of 10 times, it ends up becoming about the moral and the character of the character more so than anything else. So I present to you a list that is not only weird, but very different in my eyes. My top 10 list of good guys that are bad. Now this can apply to several qualities and aspects. They're good, but maybe they do bad things. Maybe they transform. Maybe they inherently are bad because of the bad things they do, but strive to work towards the good. Hell, some of these guys are antiheroes. All of these things I'm counting towards my top 10 good guys that are bad.
Number 10!
As much as this is a joke entry, Tom Nook isn't someone that you want to mess with. Starbomb is right. You're in his town. From game to game, this fun little raccoon goes from being a town role model to the evil Heisenberg with a legal twist. This guy single-handedly owns and operates the economy with himself and his family. If you want anything, he stands in your way. And after you've paid off a loan or whatever you want to purchase, he tempts you again and again with an offer of another loan or some rare items. All of this stuff seems fine and dandy, right? Wrong. Very, very wrong. When you become an adult, life gets tough. Loans, taxes, mortgages, midichlorians, you go through a lot. That's one of the big reasons why I'm indifferent about Tom Nook and the Animal Crossing series. It's a bit too cute, but at the same time, it's a bit too real.
Number 9.
Chewie, we're home.
Who's excited for Star Wars Episode 7? Anyone? Oh, all of you. Okay, good. Because I've been talking about Star Wars a lot, and it made me realize how many people may have missed out on one of my favorite characters from the Star Wars universe that somewhat exists canonically and non-canonically. Starkiller from The Force Unleashed starts out as a young boy filled with anger and rage. Kidnapped at a young age by Vader, he ends up becoming the apprentice that no one knew existed and is tasked with hunting down anyone that stands in the way of the Emperor and the Empire. What we get is a man covered in the dark side of the Force similarly to Anakin, but he yearns to be good. Like Anakin, Starkiller's influences in his life tend to come from a woman, with Captain Juno ultimately helping sway him to come to the side known as the Rebel Alliance. What's even more weird is how even more morally gray-areaed Starkiller becomes in the sequel, The Force Unleashed 2. He's almost exclusively driven by love, regardless of the Rebel Alliance's attempts at the rebellion. And we're not even the same Starkiller from the first game. Very weird choices for a character who otherwise has had a hard time understanding his moral compass in the Star Wars universe.
Number 8.
Here's where things start to get even more morally twisted. John Marsden is a criminal of the Old West, but he really wants to be a family man.
Dad, what's going on?
Not that kind of family man. He wants to retire as a criminal and live a life of solitude and enjoyment. Things tend to put you into perspective like that when you're shot and left for dead by your brothers of crime. Being with his family becomes more important to him than anything else, but he has to do a lot of bad deeds to right the wrong of the deeds he's done first. And what's wonderful about John Marsden's character is that he's always thought from the beginning that despite being a bad person from doing bad deeds like robbing people, he always thought he was doing good because he stole from the rich that were already wealthy and gave to the poor.
Number 7.
Phoenix Wright has been one of the few Capcom franchises I know little about, but I knew something was up when I was first introduced to Miles Edgeworth. Miles is a smug and overconfident dude, but he's highly intelligent. In each game, he's able to find reasonable doubt and almost outsmart Phoenix Wright at every turn. Using Wright's own words in case against him, his job is to prosecute, and he's dangerously brilliant at it, even if his target is innocent. At the end of the day, he believes in the law, and every case he takes, he'll fight for his belief to prosecute. He doesn't throw the book at them for the fun of it, but because he believes there's reasonable doubt about their claims. He's a rival to Wright, but not his enemy, and they both have high admiration and respect for one another. Edgeworth is seeking the truth just as much as Phoenix Wright is, but he's certainly not shy about throwing punches or humiliating his adversary. That, and it's hard to deny that Edgeworth has style.
Number 6.
Katherine. Oh god, I love this game. You know, right now, as of April 30th, 2015, the PSN sales feature Katherine for a pretty low price. So if you have not picked this up, now's the time. But for everyone else out there who has played Katherine, this one's for you. Now, I'll admit, Katherine being on this list is kind of a spoiler, but not really. You've been warned. Katherine's plot is about a man named Vincent trying to pick which Katherine means more to him, his lifelong girlfriend Katherine with a K, who's been giving him problems as of late, or the sexy new Katherine with a C, who knows all of the right ways to make him happy. And in between all of this is an insane amount of fever dreams leading to the death of many men. But in all of this, we discover that Katherine with a C is actually an evil succubus, which makes it hard not just for Vincent, but for us as the player. Katherine is all about making what you think is the best choice for you. Imagine when the woman you've been picking this whole time ends up being this beautiful, but evil as hell succubus-like creature. Ladies and gentlemen, that's living in the gray area known as relationship indecision that some men and women experience. And it sucks because someone always gets hurt in the end. Except if you're a heartless succubus. I say succubus. I know it might be succubus, but whatever.
Number 5.
I feel that this one's pretty straightforward, right? We all can agree that Protoman is technically a bad character when it comes to the Wily Wars timeline of the Mega Man franchise. Brother to our hero Mega Man, Protoman walks the fine line in helping Dr. Wily succeed in his awful destructive plans and being there for his estranged family of Mega Man, Roll, and Dr. Light. The irony in the mysteriousness of Protoman is that we see the same evolve in Mega Man X with the introduction of Zero, and it's that kind of mysteriousness that makes the red robot trope of the Mega Man series work better than Mega Man does for us. We want to be Protoman, we want to be Zero, we want to be these characters that are morally good but have dark and deep paths. Also, we want to play the characters we can't play generally, because they're more badass than you. They're meant to inspire you to be better.
Number 4.
Oh man, Kratos, the God of War, has to be one of my favorite characters of all time. This guy's just inherently so evil. The kind of evil that you love to play as. Sure, these games are bloody, gory, and offensive to all walks of life, but holy crap, it's really fun. And surprisingly enough, the character of Kratos is very deep. A powerful warrior in an army, he was once destined to lose his life and war for his Spartan brethren. Kratos made a deal with Ares, the god of war, which involved Kratos himself becoming incredibly powerful, but in doing so, Kratos became full of rage. A type of rage that was unstoppable, wiping out thousands and thousands of people almost by his lonesome. It wasn't until when in blind rage, Kratos became mortal again. He kills his wife and daughter without realizing what he did, and he forever is stained with their ashes on his skin. And now he seeks revenge. And this is just the plot of the first God of War. There are so many other God of War titles, and all of them are almost perfect. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain the moral differences for this character.
Number 3.
I'm not surprised you showed up late. I'm surprised you showed up at all.
Hey!
This guy is a perfect example for my top 10 list. Garyoke, or Blue from Pokemon Red and Blue, is that smug jerk who is your rival. Obviously, you don't actually hate each other, it's more of a sibling rivalry given your relationship with Professor Oak and your love of Pokemon. You both want to become Pokemon champions, you both want to become the best trainers ever, you've got a lot in common. But for whatever reason, Garyoke comes with this teenage angst rivalry that ends up just being rude, dude.
I earned so many badges already. I'm taking a break to work on my 10.
He's so cool!
Step off, man. This is something that I will always remember about the original Pokemon games, and this is a trope that's now created for these games. The idea of the rival gives you that competitive edge.
Number 2.
Probably one of the most awesome of the new Smash Bros. Characters, Duck Hunt Dog has got to be one of the most morally confusing game characters of all time. For those of you who haven't played Duck Hunt, you must use a light gun to shoot the ducks that fly onto the screen. And if you miss them, you get that evil, smug laugh from the dog. That's why this guy gets this spot. The point of the game is to shoot the ducks that he obviously helps you find, but then he laughs at you when you miss shooting them? Pick a side, dog. Also in Smash, you're friends with the duck now. Forget all the years of tension in between. I mean, there wasn't really any other games, but the confusion meter is rising with this one.
Number 1.
Knuckles the Echidna, for almost 6 to 8 months of my life, I thought was a total jerk. Every time I saw him, I would be angry. All the times he's smugly laughing at you. The intro to Sonic 3 has him uppercutting Sonic from underneath the ground and knocking him out of his supersonic form, and then he takes all of the Chaos Emeralds and then splits. Without any text-based explanations, we've got a new character as a third in the series, and he's mean. And by the time you beat the original game, he's still flat out evil at the end. But then that 6 to 8 months go by, and here comes along the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge pack. Everything you know is wrong. Black is white, up is down, and short is long. We actually can now play as the evil Echidna we've come to hate. And if you play Sonic and 3 Knuckles straight through, we see a jerk transform into a misunderstood friend who ends up becoming an important staple to the cast of Sonic characters. Alright, that last part is debatable for every part of a new Sonic game, but hey, regardless, I always thought Knuckles was awesome.
So that was my top 10. Let me know what your top 10 are somewhere in the comments below or anywhere on the internet. You got Tumblr and Twitter and Reddit and Facebook and all that great stuff. Instagram even. I can take a photo and you can comment on that. That's weird. Thank you for watching. As always, a huge thank you to all of our Patreon donators every single month. If you want to help out the show, that's also a great way to do that too. And again, we're streaming a bunch. Come hang out. I'm probably going to be streaming later tonight. If not, go watch The Avengers, because that's what everyone's doing this weekend. What are you doing? Hashtag, what are you doing this weekend? Just tell me what you're doing. I don't really have an excuse me end bit, so, I don't know. Now if you excuse me, a thing. Whatever that means. These are hands like Kermit. If Kermit was a real person, these would be his hands. I don't know it. Good night.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech, you'll shake and shudder